Welcome back. Today we're going to be reading r/relationship advice. Our first post, girlfriend 20 female wants to make it fair after I 21 male watched porn. Last year, my girlfriend and I made a verbal agreement for me not to get pleasure from watching XXX videos. That was fine. She is a beautiful girl and we have sex 3 to 4 times a week. 2 months to 2.5 months ago, she got angry with me and started withholding sex as a form of punishment. I don't agree with it, so I wasn't able to have sex much often, possibly once a week when she wanted. 1.5 months ago, I watched porn, and for the past 1.5 months, I can count on both hands how much I did. 3 days ago, I was at work, just watching because I was bored, slowed due to COVID, not actually pleasuring myself, but forgot I had it on. I get home, we have a good time together. I open my phone to show her something, and then she sees it. She gets upset, says harsh words, and went to bed. We wake up, she's still upset, linking it to cheating, and wants to break up. I tell her I'm sorry I went against the agreement, that I love her, that we'll get past this. She still wants to freak out and starts hitting me when I go up to hug her and settle her down. She called up her parents, and instead of what she wanted them to do, to defend her, they ended up saying that she was ridiculous and sided with me. I'm not one to pick sides. They asked for my perspective, and they decided on their own. She hits her breaking point, starts messaging guys on dating sites and Snapchat, sends a guy a pic of her to get back at me. She also told me she wants to sleep with someone to make things fair and even. I've tried consoling her and being sweet, and nothing has had her let up. I am really stuck, and I don't want her to cheat. Is there any way to make it fair and even? I'm sorry to say, dude, but I think this is time to break up. I can understand someone having problems with porn, but to relate it to cheating and then go out and cheat? And not only did she cheat emotionally by texting people and sending a picture of herself, she's still not even happy with that. I feel like she just wants to get out of the relationship without getting out of the relationship. Time for our next post. My 24 female flatmate, 25 female, cries every time my boyfriend visits. I've been living with this flatmate, Natalie, for just over 6 months. We normally get on great, we have plenty in common, never fought, and as far as flatmates go, she's great. Rent and bills are always paid on time, she's clean, she's not noisy, and very considerate. I like to think all these things apply to me too, and we live great together. I've been with my boyfriend Cameron for over a year now. Obviously, with the world as it is, we've had a couple difficulties with distance and not being able to see each other as much as we would like, but we deal with it. Natalie listened to me whine about it when we would chill and drink wine on the couch. She even met Cameron a couple times and agreed he's very sweet. We have a clause in our rental agreement that says we can have overnight guests for 2 nights a week. Cameron has been staying here once a week, usually a Friday or Saturday, with me staying at his place the other day. All of this aligns with COVID restrictions where we live. He wouldn't be staying otherwise. I always ask Natalie if she's fine with that beforehand, and she says it's cool. But now, every time without fail, she will cry and have some kind of meltdown while he's here. The first time we were watching a movie in my room, I got up to pee and I could hear Natalie crying in her room. I knocked and asked if she was okay, and she just said she was super sad about not seeing her family, as she wasn't able to travel overseas to see them. I went back to my room and told Cameron I need to keep Natalie company for a while to cheer her up, and he was quite content to sit and play his game, so no biggie then. We hung out in Natalie's room for about an hour or so. She perked up and went to bed. Cool, we all get a bit stressed and upset. I was glad I was able to cheer her up. Next week, it was because she had a fucked up job application and wanted me to help before the deadline. Okay, cool, shit happens. I help. It takes longer than I would have liked, but we get it done and sent off. The next week, she had bumped into her ex and they got into an argument. Then it was about a depression, and then she had a fight with her mom. It got to the point where Cameron and I would pretty much hide in my room and pretend we couldn't hear her crying, which would get louder and louder until she'll eventually come and knock on my bedroom door. It's so uncomfortable because I don't feel like I can just send her away or ignore her. She'll be totally fine the next day. She'll brush it off if I ask how she's doing, and when I ask if Cameron can stay, she always says, "Oh sure, no problem." I feel like this can't be a coincidence. I'd never seen her cry up until now, and I'd never seen her cry other than the nights that Cam is here. We hang out other days, and I invite her to hang out with both of us, like if we're ordering dinner or watching a movie, and she always declines. I pointed out to her that she always seems a bit upset when he's here, and if she's comfortable having him in the house. And she said, "Oh yeah, what a coincidence. I never realized that. He's nice, and I don't have any issue with him." Cameron doesn't feel comfortable being in the flat much now, as he's going to be super heavy and uncomfortable atmosphere, and I'm going to end up comforting her for the most of the night. Is this worth bringing up again? I can't tell if I'm being crazy, but this cannot be a coincidence. As soon as Cameron drops his butt on my bed, she'll start to cry, or some big disaster will strike. I'm worried it will blow up into a big fight, because I'm starting to get frustrated now. I would say this is definitely worth bringing up again because something isn't right here. She's crying for some reason. What I'm thinking is she feels really close to you and she wants to hang out with you, and she's sad when your attention is elsewhere. She's probably really stressed with COVID and stuff going on, and she feels like she can only really rely on you. and there comes a point where she can't rely on you because your boyfriend's there, and she's having trouble coping with that. So yes, I would definitely bring this up again. Time for our third post. Just got confirmation that my brother-in-law is cheating on my sister. I work in the same company as my brother-in-law. A few days ago, I saw by accident this one girl that worked with us texting him. I couldn't see the conversation because she hid her phone when I approached. But it was enough to set my mind into hunter mode. Anyways, I've been watching the two of them to see if I can catch something or if I was crazy. Well, a few hours ago, I was going to my lunch break in the kitchen of the company because I lived too far, and seen some unusual behavior from them. So I backed up to my place of work and pretend to work just to give time. Like 3 minutes later, I come back to the kitchen and she is nowhere to be seen. I circle around and he's missing too. When I check the bathrooms, the one with the lady's door closed and the other was open. I wait and she comes out of the bathroom and goes to her office. No one else comes out. I pass by and the door is still closed. Then I decide to take a bet and circle to the door that gave the access to the backside, where he works. And lo and behold, he comes out of that door and becomes pale when he sees me. I look at the security footage and was able to film with my cell phone, illegal as fuck, the two going to the bathroom one after another. I contacted my mom and informed her. We're going to talk to my sister tonight, but here's the problem. My sister almost died a few weeks ago and is very confused. She's not her normal self. My mom said not to tell her right now because of this, but I hate cheaters with a passion with 1,000 sons, upbringing issues, and already did this. I hide the truth from someone else in the past and never forgive myself for doing that, even though the person does. What to do now? They're not married, just live together, rental, no house. Have amazing little kid. The company that we work for is very small in structure, not the business, bad management, I guess. Honestly, your brother-in-law sounds like trash. I'm sorry. Your sister almost died and he's cheating on her with the baby at home. I think this is one of those things you have to tell her, but I think the timing could be a little better, but I don't think you can withhold it from her because it might ruin your relationship with your sister. Would you be able to tell her and be there for her? Like, could you take her in, help her get away from her husband? This is a very complicated situation. Time for our last post. Serious answers only. Is this cheating? So a little backstory before I jump in. My boyfriend and I have been together for 5 years this upcoming December. We both live in my mom's house at the moment. We're both young, and I just turned 20, and we're planning on moving out next year to go back to school together. It's been a damn roller coaster, but this incident was definitely the worst of it. The past couple of months, our arguments have gotten worse, and much more heated, often resulting in us not talking to each other for hours at a time after an argument. The other day, we had one that I guess pushed him over the edge. He said we were done and he couldn't deal with these issues anymore. He said he would stay in the house for a week or so until he found someone else to stay in the meantime. I tried to get him to talk and get him to reconsider, but he was dead set. The rest of the day and the next day, he treated me like a stranger that I just happened to be living with. As much as I was heartbroken, I resolved to try and pick myself up and accept that if he was done, then there was nothing I could do to stop him. So after a few days of all of this went down, I downloaded Tinder. I know, not the greatest idea, because I hadn't found the best way to cope with things in my life, especially people leaving me. I wasn't doing it for sex or even to meet someone new, I just wanted to talk to someone. Anyone who could hear me and give me a distraction from the pain. Again, I know this wasn't a good decision, mostly because he had not moved out yet, and I fully accepted that it was a disrespectful thing to do. But I wasn't doing it because I was moving on to someone new. I did it because you do crazy things sometimes when you're in pain, and I was desperate for anyone to listen. He found out about this the very next day I got it. Didn't send more than a hey to someone on the app. He proceeded to tell my mother what I'd done, basically ruining my image to not just him, but my entire family. He was very hurt, understandably, and I knew I fucked up. But what took me by surprise is he said I cheated on him. I don't claim to be right about everything. I know when to admit my mistakes, and this definitely wasn't the right choice. For my mental health or his. But when someone says we're done, I don't think anything I do at that point can be labeled as cheating, even if we live in the same house. This hurts me because I always had pride in being a loyal, faithful partner who would never cheat, and now everyone in my family labels me as a cheater. I would love any opinions and advice, or just a simple answer to my original question. Was this cheating? Sorry this was so long, and thank you for anyone who reads all the way, haha. Girl, don't worry, you didn't cheat. He literally broke up with you. He didn't talk to you. He didn't talk to you about after breakup, whatever. He didn't talk to you. He treated you like a stranger. You took that, stopped bothering him as he wished, you followed what he wanted. Well, yes, Tinder wasn't a good idea to make yourself feel better, I understand. And you did not cheat. You did not. Don't worry about it. Maybe you can explain it to your family because them labeling you as a cheater is pretty shady. If they know the full background and still label you as a cheater, they're just clearly in the wrong. I'm sorry this happens. I hope you feel better and I hope you get over your ex. That's the end of the video, but I do have something to shout out real quick. It's not much, but I made a subreddit for people who want to engage with Reddit YouTubers and stuff. So if you want to talk about suggested subreddits, your favorite post, rants you have, how you feel about some YouTubers, just little stuff like that, you can even post memes. You can follow the link in my channel and hang out with us. Right now it doesn't have many members, 7, but it is slowly growing. I just made it yesterday and it's at 7. Come on, that's some peak success. We're gonna try to build a community.